What's up everyone, it's Natalie here, and today I am filming in my living room. If the background looks a little different, I kind of wanted to change the scenery, so yeah, here we are. I am filming a relationship advice Q&A. So I asked you guys on my Instagram for any advice questions about relationships that you guys have in spirit of Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Day was this past week. If you've had someone to celebrate it, comment down below, or what you guys did, or if you guys think Valentine's Day is stupid and it's just a way to sell Hallmark cards and you should celebrate your loved ones every day, then comment that down below too. And if the lighting is weird, it's because my living room is full of windows, and now I'm realizing that this is probably not a good place to film because the sun is behind me. Hopefully this lighting is a little better. I closed the blinds behind me, so let's hope for the best. I'm gonna get right into it. Okay, so I am gonna keep these totally anonymous so that no one gets exposed in my video. First one I screenshotted is my boyfriend and I are about to start doing long distance. I'll be in Chicago, he'll be in Orlando. We have no set date for when we won't have to do long distance anymore, and I was wondering if you had any experience with long distance or any advice to make it work. I think people think long distance is a lot scarier than it is, and I say that because I feel like people think long distance is the end of the world, you're never gonna make it work. The way I feel like keeping long distance alive and making a long distance relationship work, number one, is trust. You have to trust the person so much, and because they literally can do anything they want and you would never know, and they can get away with it. So you really have to make sure that you trust your significant other and your boyfriend or your girlfriend, because if not, I mean, you're gonna go crazy if you're constantly texting them like, what are you doing? Where are you? Blah, blah. If they haven't answered your texts in a few hours, if you start getting like worried and stuff like that. So that has to be like your strongest quality in the relationship, is trusting the person. And then another thing I think is constant communication, because you guys aren't with each other face to face. So you guys aren't gonna see your body language as much, or you're not gonna see the way that you guys are acting, like your facial expressions as often. So I feel like having good communication, and just whenever you're feeling doubt or whenever you're feeling sad or whenever you're feeling a certain way, just to express it and to let them know like, hey, this is how I feel. Tell them how you feel about them, good or bad, because that's definitely what keeps it alive. Because if you're constantly texting or calling, hey, what's up, what are you doing, it gets kind of boring. So you just need to have really good communication, I think, and trust for sure. But eventually, I do think it's hard to do long distance if it's forever. So after a few years, maybe, hopefully one of you has a goal in mind to move to the same city, or to see if you can transfer your job to that city or something like that. I'm not saying to uplift your life because of a person, but realistically, if you want to make it work, I do think that after a few years down the line, you guys will probably have to be in the same place, especially if your goal is to get married to that person, for example. Then I feel like you should eventually work out to be in the same city. But if you have to do long distance for a few years, it shouldn't be as scary of a thing as people make it out to be. I recently broke up with my boyfriend 2 months ago. Honestly, it's been a little hard. A part of me knows I'm better off without him, and a part of me feels like, wait a few more months, and if you still like him, you should tell him and maybe get back together with him. Have you ever felt this way before? How do you really get over an ex? And more importantly, how do you let yourself fall in love again after the emptiness that you felt from previous breakups? I want to believe that time will heal, but I still think few years down the road, I still think about him. He is my first love after all. This is a heavy question because everyone's situation is different, but I feel like first loves especially is really hard because they're the first person that you've ever fallen in love with. They're the first person that you opened up to. They're the first person that you shared like a certain level of intimacy with. First loves are always one of those things that's like, you will never forget your first love. That's expression. But I do think that time heals all, and I know that in this DM you did say like, I want to believe that time will heal, but I feel like a few years down the road I'll still think about him. And the truth is, you won't. You might think about him in the sense of like, oh, I wonder what he's doing, or oh yeah, I remember him. Like, of course you're always gonna remember them. You're always gonna know who they are, and there may be some things eventually will, like if someone does something and it reminds you of them, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I have short-term memory loss or something like that, but I don't really think about exes. Like when you first break up, it's really, really hard. And then eventually as you move on and you continue, like time goes on, if I like will stop, and if I ever stop and think about them, it's like not in a, oh, I miss you type of way. So, and I thought that I would be that person that would always hold on to that feeling of like being so sad about a breakup or missing a person. And for me personally, I feel like time does heal. Eventually you just kind of, you think about them, but it's just like, oh yeah, that's that person. Like, it's not like you, when the thought of them comes back with like emotions and sadness and stuff like that, which I feel like is what most people are worried about. I think for getting back together with an ex in the future, if you still miss each other, that is totally up to you, as long as the breakup was not something super bad, I guess, like abuse or cheating or anything like that. But that's totally up to you on if you want to get back together with them. But I don't think that in the beginning, I know it feels like, oh, I'm always gonna love you, like I'm always gonna think about you, I'm never gonna forget my first love, but really truly you do. And it's kind of sad to think about in the moment, because you're like, I don't want to forget about this person, they meant so much to me. But it's really nice to be able to think about that time in your life and look back at it with, oh yeah, that happened and I learned a lot and I don't regret it and I would never take it back. But oh, that happened. It's not like you're thinking about them and you're crying and you're sad and you're still upset about it. So some people move on way quicker than others, and some people take a year to move on, but eventually you do. Especially if you are younger, you definitely will, and it feels like the end of the world, but I promise you it's not. I'm 20 and I've never had a serious relationship. Is there something wrong with me? No, absolutely not. I had my first boyfriend when I was 17 years old, which honestly I feel like is kind of young. Like, I started dating at my senior year of high school. I think that was really young. I think a lot of people, I know a lot of people actually that have never had a boyfriend or girlfriend in high school or college. I know some people that are even in their mid-20s and they've never dated anyone. I don't think that's weird. I don't think it's bad. I think that everyone just has a different timeline of life, and we should stop having people fit one certain timeline. Like, I feel like when you're younger, it's like, oh, I'm gonna graduate high school at 18, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have a kid, blah, 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 and everything's like 18, 22, 25, 27, like everything is listed out. And then in your head, you're like, oh, well, if I wanna be married by 25, that means I should probably find the love of my life at like 23, because let's say I need to have like 2 years of dating them, and then after about 2 years I want to be a mom, so at 27, like, I have done that math before and it is so unhealthy. Like, just, it's puts so much unnecessary stress in your life to think that you are behind in the life in your life. Like, it's just, it's not true. It should never be something on your mind. And you know what? God has your own plan for you. Your plan is different than everyone else's plan. So I firmly believe that. I think everyone has their own path that they're supposed to go on, and if everyone's path was the same, the world would be a very, very boring place. Hi Natalie, I just want to say I really love you in your videos. Your positivity is so radiant and you're such a real person. Thank you so much. Comments like that make my whole day, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted your advice on what to do when the guy you're seeing / talking to doesn't want a relationship yet. We've been seeing each other for about 4 months now, and we do pretty much everything a couple does, but he says he isn't really ready for a relationship. Do you think I should continue seeing him or walk away? Thank you so much. I have a lot to say about topics like this, because I am so against people that like refuse to put labels on things. I mean, you do you. I just could never be with someone like that, because it's not like, oh, I need labels. But when you say you don't want a relationship and then you're doing relationship things, I'm just like, why not then? Like, what's the difference? If we're dating, if we're basically dating, we're going on dates, if we're whatever you consider being coupley, like, I don't know what you consider holding hands, anything like that, X, Y, and Z, everyone's is different. If you're doing all of that stuff, why would you not just put a label on it? I don't get it. I feel like people are scared of commitment, but it makes no sense, because if you're doing that just without the label and then something goes wrong, you're still gonna feel pain. Your emotions are still there. So I just feel like it adds confusion, and people that say that are just scared of commitment, and that's my opinion on it. That's from experience, from what I've seen with my friends and stuff like that. And also, if he doesn't want a relationship yet, then I think I would tell him then, okay, we're not gonna do relationship things. I'll be your friend, but I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna kiss you anymore. I'm not gonna hold your hand anymore. I'm not, like, we're not gonna go on all of these dates anymore, because that's not fair. You're messing with my emotions. And especially if you're a person that wants a relationship and he's not. Of course, there are times when sometimes it's too soon and they need to be ready, but if this has been going on for months and he still doesn't know when he'll be ready for a relationship, when he wants a relationship, but you guys are doing all the things that couples do, I don't know. I feel like, is that really someone you want to be with if they're that scared of commitment? But obviously everyone is different. That is just, I can't be with someone like that. Hey Natalie, I've been following you for a while now. It seems like we are growing up together. I also started working a few months ago like you did. My question is, I have had so many heartbreaks and the guy I'm dating right now is so sweet, but I feel too scared for another heartbreak. What would you advise me? This, first of all, I love the first part when we said we grew up together, because I seriously feel that way with so many of you guys, and it's just such an amazing feeling. I feel like we're literally best friends that went from like high school to college to adult life together, and it's great. For being scared of being heartbroken again, I think that that is such a fear that people have when they've gone through heartbreak. They're constantly scared that the next guy, like, this is too good to be true, it's gonna happen again. And I've had friends who are like that, where they have gotten screwed over by guys so many times, and they kind of carry that with them in their next relationship, because they have this wall up that's like, I'm gonna get hurt again, I'm gonna get hurt again, I'm gonna get hurt again. I think the best way to go into it is, one, never get into a relationship when you're not ready, and no one has a set timeline. Some people get over things very quickly and they're ready to jump right back in, but some people it takes them a long time to get over someone. So my number one thing is to not get into another relationship when you're still hung up over your last one, because you're just gonna have so many more problems in your new one. And it's not fair to treat the guy that you're with like your ex, because he's a totally different person or she's a totally different person, and it's not, I don't know, I don't think that's right for them. I feel like you need to give them that benefit of the doubt that this is a new guy, like, he is not my ex-boyfriend, he's not gonna treat me the way that he did because he's a new person. And also, when you do go through relationships where you were treated horribly or heartbreak and stuff like that, you see signs that you didn't see when you were in it, and I think that gives you a new pair of eyes, or like a new lens of eyes to look at when you're in another relationship. Tell them that your fears, tell them, hey, listen, like, I've been really heartbroken before, I've been treated this way before, and it scares me. And if they are the person for you, then they will respect that and they will know that you've been hurt and everything, but you also do have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are a new person, they're not the same person as your ex. And also, open yourself up to love. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but don't think just because you were hurt once that means you're gonna get hurt every time. And some people go through multiple heartbreaks, yes, but just pray a lot about your relationships, and also go into it seeing the red flags beforehand, and just giving yourself a chance. Don't think, oh, in my next relationship I'll get heartbroken again, because that's just, you shouldn't do that, because it's a totally new situation. What's your advice for an ambitious girl dating an unambitious guy? Example, guy settles for a fast food job while girl gets her degree and obtains a good job. So this is something that I thought was a really interesting question, because I am a very, very ambitious person. I'm a very motivated. I can self-motivate myself. I don't need people to motivate me. I work really hard, and I know what I want and I go after it. For me, ambition and motivation is a very, very attractive quality in a guy. So I am very attracted to those types of people that are very hard workers, that are smart, that go after what they want, that want to do more than just the bare minimum, basically, because that's how I am. I am someone who wants to do more than just what I have to do, I guess. Or, oh, I'm just gonna get a job to pay the bills. Like, no, I want passion. Like, I want to start something. I want, you know, I'm very, very ambitious in that sense. So for me, a quality that looks good in a guy is ambition as well. And I'm not even saying ambition with like, oh, fast food job, whatever. Like, I don't really need you to make a lot of money. I'm not looking for someone who has a high paying job or anything like that. Like, if you have a high paying job and you hate it and you're just stuck working up the corporate ladder, but you hate it so much and you're so unmotivated and you're just like, I am going to work every day, but like, this sucks, versus someone who's broke but wants to start their own business and follow their dreams and has like such amazing vision. Like, I find the broke guy with vision more attractive than the successful rich guy that's climbing up the corporate ladder but hates his life. I feel like that to me is different. Like, it doesn't have to correlate with money, which I feel like a lot of people would assume that it does, but that's not what I mean by that. So I feel like it would be hard for me to be attracted to someone that was not ambitious. But because in the end, you're already motivating yourself, and it's gonna be really hard to motivate someone else too. If it's already a problem and you guys are dating, then maybe, I don't know, I'm not gonna tell you to break up with that person, but just try to kind of express to them how you're feeling, and maybe ask them, why are you lacking this? Is there something going on in their life? Like, I never want to judge someone and say like, oh, you're just lazy, because I have no idea what you're going through. But just talk to them, see what they have to say, and at the end of the day, there are some people that are just not compatible, and you might have to reevaluate that. But yeah, definitely hear them out. And I see where you're coming from. Like, that's definitely a tough, like, something that I look for in someone. Those are all of the questions I am going to answer for today's video, because this video is already like 25 minutes long. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what you guys did for Valentine's Day. And if you guys have any other relationship advice questions, then comment them down below. I really love filming advice videos, just because I'm that friend that, like, I like giving my friends advice and talking about my experiences and lessons I've learned. So yeah, I hope this helped you in any way at all. And if you guys want to be a part of the next one or any other Q&As, then just follow me on Instagram. But I will see you guys in my next video. Have a wonderful night, day, whenever you guys are watching this, I don't know. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.